Hello everyone, it's Pat at Beads and Plenty More. And today I'm going to talk again about our Workday Glam. I've got this bracelet here made up on elastic, and I'm going to start with a finished bracelet. I've got it made up to the right size with the elastic, and I'm just going to review how we go about tying the elastic. So go around the elastic once and one more time. Call the surgeon's knot. And I've got these disc beads that are big enough hole that I can pop my knot inside the hole there. So one double tie and one single tie. And drop the elastic nice and snug so that we've got some good stretch and it won't stretch out as we're wearing it. Okay, so I've got the knot tied. Now I'll bring in the GNS Hypo Cement glue, and I always like to have a piece of paper beside me because sometimes I can't get the top back in very quickly. Okay, so I'll spread that out, holding it with my fingers so that I can get right at that knot. We'll put the glue on here and turn it over a bit so I can get it on the other side there. Okay, now I've got one side I want to put inside these beads with the bigger hole. Feed it through like that, and then pop that knot right inside those beads. Keep this one so it doesn't pull away. Just pop it right inside like that. So then we're going to leave that. Well, it didn't get inside, so we'll give it another pull. There we are. It can almost feel like a little knock when it goes in. Okay, so then I'm going to leave these ends to dry really well before I go about putting it back together. And we'll I'm going to just set that aside so that we can do it later. And that's one of my workplace glam. I've used these little daisy spacers, put 3 of them together. So there's the gold version to make this little unit that looks like a bead. So that's the stretchy elastic one. And then I decided that this would also work very well on tiger wire. So I did another combination with some more of the glass pearls and the daisy spacers. And we basically just thread on 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. And as they nest together, the little prongs alternate, thus giving us something that looks like a textured bead. See that? So I'm going to stop now and go ahead and thread this. I'm using 2 different colors of the glass pearls. One is shiny and one is matte. So I've got a shiny and a matte alternating them. And then I'm going to talk about finishing the tiger wire with a magnetic clasp and crimp beads. So I'll go ahead and thread it and I'll come back to you. Okay, I'm back, and I've got all the beads strung on this tiger wire, and I'm just going to point out that when you're using large beads, you do have to make the bracelet quite a bit longer. I'm going to just measure this up. See, I've got about 8.5 to 9 inches of length as it shows straight out, but when we put it on our sizing chart, which we have this machine, or well, it's not really a machine, it's a plastic, and it folds into a cone, which then you can drop your bracelet down on this cone and it'll tell you what size you're going to end up with because of the bigger beads taking up so much more space. So allowing for my magnet in here, I've got about a 7 1/4 to 7 1/2, and that's how much you lose from using the bigger beads as far as length. And so this is what this cone looks like. It comes flat, and you just wrap it into a cone shape, and you can measure. So we'll go ahead and finish this off now. I've ended with the daisy beads because they have bigger holes, and I want to be able to wrap my tiger wire back into the beads a little bit so that the end is not left right at the very space where I've cut the end off, and that means that it could slip back very easily. So I've put on 2 crimp beads, and I chose this antique gold magnet, which I think is the best match I could find for my beads. So we'll just wrap that around like this and go back through these crimp beads. And then I've got this tail to feed into the daisy spacers here. It won't go back through my glass pearl because they're just too small of holes. Okay, so doing your first side is the easy side because you've got lots of space to work. Leave a little bit of a gap so that you have movement with your magnet, and then go in with your chain nose pliers far enough along that you can squeeze them both at the same time and squeeze down. You get double crimp like that. So then this tail I'm just going to cut away because we don't need it anymore. And we'll push our beads down so that they all match up to this other end. There we go. Make sure my tail is tucked in nice and neat. Always curve your bracelet before you do the other side because, of course, you don't want your bracelet to be so tight that it sticks straight out. Again, got 1 crimp bead and 2 crimp beads. Oh, I lost that one. Sometimes crimp beads don't pick up easily and they end up getting lost. There we are. I've got the 2 crimp beads there. Turn this around so that we can see the other side better. And I'm going to split the magnet at this point so that we have only the one side to work with. There we are. Okay, so then on this side, it's more important to tighten everything. We get the tiger wire through the 2 crimp beads. And through this set of 3 daisy spacers. And at this point, we're going to tighten everything up so that we get it tight but curved. There we are. So check that there's no gaps before you do your final crimping. And go in again with the chain nose pliers across both crimp beads and squeeze down. Oh, I didn't catch the second one very well. Magnets like to stick to the pliers. There we are. Okay, and then this piece just gets cut away. So, another one for your Workday Glam that you could wear anywhere or everywhere. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.